This is KHQA Overtime with Chris Duerr, brought to you by Hollister Whitney.
And this is Saturday, October the 19th, and you have indeed entered overtime. The weekends grow ever more eventful from mid-October on in this business as we are in the throes of our first of many more to come, impossibly busy postseason Saturdays. And with much of the drama drained from the championship quests on the links after round one for the boys and the girls in the Illinois State golf meets on Friday, we're going to start our highlight hootenanny with a show of shock and awe on the District Diamond today in Northeast Missouri, as there would be no Bowling Green-styled October surprise this year for the Highland Lady Cougars, already up on Monroe City, 4-0 in the bottom of the first. Kiki Rothweiler, are you kidding me? First ever career home run. It is a grand slam, and the lead is doubled at 8-0, and Abby Lay is going to take advantage from there. Strikeout after strikeout, two of them right here to bookend that second inning and keep Monroe City off the board. She was, dare I say, perfecto today. Highland up 9-0 in the third, lay another strikeout. She did go on to throw the perfect game. She was nearly perfect the other night as well, going 4 2/3. She had a no-hitter already working this week. Bottom of the third coming up right here. More fun in this one as this ball is going to get away from Monroe City, and Kiki Rothweiler is going to get on her horse inside the park home run. 2 home runs, one day. What a day for this young lady, and she was fired up. How about Miss Lay going to help out her own cause coming up right here as well, leaving the yard. Abby going deep in this one to make it 12-0. More fun to come in this one. Emma Berry drives in 2 more with a single as Allison Lundberg and Hannah Ritterbusch score. Then it's Rothweiler. Why not? She's done everything else today with a walk-off RBI double. It's 15-0 Highland. Let the celebration ensue as the Lady Cougars are off to the state quarterfinals next Saturday by virtue of a 15-0 win today. They did it in walk-off style. I tell you what, Highland is absolutely rolling and incredibly fired up right now. We continue our celebration of the Highland Lady Cougars tomorrow. We're going to talk about Kira Rothweiler's huge day tomorrow, and a little later this week about how well Abby Lay has been pitching. The perfection, the no-hitter, man, you can't do much better than that. Speaking of Highland, by the way, we still do not know who their state quarterfinal opponent will be. In this year, the even numbers will be hosting the quarterfinals, so I think it will be a road trip either way to either Marceline or South Harrison. That game will be determined coming up on Monday as well. Speaking of big-time softball fun as well today, we had district semifinals in Class 3. District 3, you want to talk about a pitcher's duel coming up. It will be Weimer versus Brown on Monday for all the marbles. Centralia versus Macon as we do the Clarence Cannon Conference thing to determine a state quarterfinalist entry. Jalen Brown, by the way, for Centralia today, the sophomore struck out a school record 19 batters. She is the deal. Should be awfully fun with her and Weimer going at it coming up on Monday in Ovaz. All right, let's do district semifinal action over in Ladonia today. Kendra Murphy's crew from Community R6 hosting. They're good. Bottom of the first, they show you why. Jocelyn Curtis helping her own pitching cause right here with a hard shot to right. Play to run. It's 1-0 Trojans. But in the second inning, Addie Allmeyer from North Shelby would settle in the circle and do what she has done all season long, find strikeouts. She locates incredibly well, not only on the first batter she faces, but the second and third to strike out the side. She really seemed to have seized command after kind of the shaky start in this one. No, she wasn't feeling well in the morning. She got back to her full powers at this point. Then she got some help. It's Emmy Jones with the RBI single right here. Through the right side. I tell you what, this is some gutsy base running, but it worked for North Shelby to knot the game at 1 apiece at that point. How about the defense as well behind Addie? Check out Izzy Jones. This is a really good catch. Unfortunately for North Shelby, it was about the end of the goodness on the day as they are eliminated by Community R6. 10-6 is your final, so it would be the Trojans versus the winner of the earlier Clopton-Paris matchup. Paris trying to win its first district title in almost 25 years. Started started off badly, though, as Dean Street's team went to work in this one. It's Riley Kuntz taking advantage of an air right there, plating a run to make it 1-0. And then more to come in this one as Skylar Parker's going to drive home a second run in the top of the first to stake the Lady Hawks to a 2-0 lead. Kennedy Ashenfelter, though, she's been the ace all season long for the Coyotes. She recaptured that ace sharpness and edge and acuity right there, quelling the uprise, at least temporarily. Top of the fifth, Kaylee Noah extends the lead, nearly homers there, bounces one off the fence to make it 3-0 Hawks. Here come the Lady Coyotes in the bottom of the fifth. Starts with Emma Ashenfelter, one half of that sister's battery. The second run does not count, but it's 3-1 at this point. Here's Kennedy Ashenfelter helping her own cause to the right side, making it 3-2. And then things are about to get really fun and historic for the Lady Coyotes because Reese Sutton in one swing sets the new career home run record, RBI record, and hits record for her squad with a 2-run bomb that stakes her team, which was trailing 3-0 to a 4-3 lead. And man, Paris ain't going away in this one. It will be Kennedy Ashenfelter inducing the ground ball to get her team into the district finals. They win this thing by the final count of 4-3. So we have community and we have Paris going at it on Monday for all kinds of fun right there. Man, that's good stuff indeed. All right, the biggest golf question left on our board from Bloomington Normal after Friday's first round was, could Bo Eftink get himself to the very top of the leaderboard? Today's trophy ceremony ends up finishing second. The answer was an emphatic almost in this one. Bo went out in 33 on the back nine today, 3 under par to take over the lead, but 4 bogeys on the way back. That turned into a 71 overall. Still a great score, but 1 under for the entire tournament. 2 strokes behind Aiden Dorothy of Port Byron Riverside. That's for the second straight year. Bo is the state runner-up. He still has another year next year as a senior, but man, did he play well on Friday when we caught him. Even better today. I think Bo's going to get there eventually. I tell you what, even at this, 2 state runner-up medals is pretty darn good stuff. And it was pretty darn good stuff for the teams today. Not the greatest start to things on Friday, but as we check your final results, we can tell you that from an individual standpoint, 2 top 15s for the area is pretty strong stuff as Nolan Murphy, the freshman, rallied back big for Illini West, posted a 151 over his 2 days. Great showing there. Got some help from his teammate Nick Bruns as well, as we'll show you the team scores in just a second. Reed Freitag from Rushville Industry had a great first day, kind of fell back a little bit off the pace. That's all the Class 1A fun individually. By the way, Ty Novosel from Quincy High School, who had the great start yesterday, then kind of trailed off, ends up with a 43rd place finish. He'll be back next year as well, so good stuff all across the board. And let's look at those team final results as well. We can tell you that Quincy Notre Dame ends up for the second straight year finishing 6th, Illini West into the top 8 as well, so really good stuff on both sides of the ledger there and room to grow with these teams being very young indeed. So this is not the end by any means for the Raiders or for the Chargers moving forward. By the way, on the girls' side today, what a day for Belle Boudreau. My goodness, struggled a little bit yesterday. She fired 74 today at Red Tail Run. That's insanely good as she got into the top 12 as well. By the way, Meredith Eversman playing today as well. She gets a top 65 finish, so congratulations to the Lady Raiders. They've got a lot of good coming with all those freshmen in the next couple of years as well. Let's talk some tennis today. 2A Moline sectional, and what a day it was for Annika Reddy. Oh, we'll get to that in a second. Let's do Q&D first. Singles matchup. This is Alyssa Lee in the far court. Great point for her, taking on Kylie King of Jerseyville. It was, unfortunately for Alyssa, despite some great shots right here, a 2-6, 2-6 loss for her. She would be relegated from this semifinal into the 4th place match. She'd lose that, but she had already punched her ticket to state. So good stuff for her. By the way, Caitlin Brown and Morgan Zanger here. You're about to watch Miss Zanger go to work in the doubles semifinals. Unfortunately, they lost that to Julia Musgrove and Cora Hopt here of Rochester. But what a bounce back for Miss Brown and Miss Zanger as they win 6-3, 6-0 in the 3rd place match. They're going to state and they're going as 3rd place sectionalists as well. So congratulations to them. Now let's get that other tennis note out to you because Quincy High showed out today as Annika Reddy doing great work today. She would upset the 2nd seed, Karena Zemek of Moline, 6-2, 6-2 to start her day off. And then Miss Reddy doing it again against the top seed, Calla Graham of Moline, 3-6, 6-3, 6-2. Miss Reddy is headed off to state, and she's going with momentum as a sectional champion. She'll have plenty of good seeding fun working to her advantage as well. One more bit of playoff news to pass along today. From the soccer pitch today, Macomb season comes to an end, but Beardstown will be going on. Those two teams matched up at the Macomb Regional Semifinal today. Beardstown, despite a really gritty effort from the Bombers, Beardstown gets by 2-0 your final. One regular season soccer note to pass along to you as well. How about an outright NCMC championship for the Hannibal Pirates? They go to Marshall and win in an incredibly tough place. Maddox Tharp, Colton Dryden with the goals. Congratulations to Eric Hill's crew as well. We're just getting warmed up. I promised you Quincy High football highlights last night. They're finally in, and they are good. We've got some volleyball coming your way, and much, much more when overtime continues.
This is KHQA Overtime with Chris Duerr, brought to you by Hollister Whitney.
And welcome back to Overtime, party people. I got to tell you, I have no earthly idea what to make of Route Catholic. Got a 60-piece dropped on them last week by Brown County. Bounced back today and beat Greenfield Northwestern emphatically. Barry Creviston's team, they're a tempest. I have no idea, but they win big today and make themselves playoff eligible. Avoid the pitfall of having to go to Carrollton and win next week. Good stuff for Route Catholic today. 42-20 is your final. Quincy High Blue Devil highlights last night at Geneseo. What an offensive showpiece for the Blue Devils, as you would expect at Bob Reed Field. Braid Little's team tied up at 7 apiece. Little to Tykel Hammers, who had a record-setting day. Going to take some big contact. You can't hurt Tykel. That makes it, at that point, a 19-yard touchdown, 14-7. How about a little more Braid Little? How about a little more Tykel Hammers? He had 225 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns, the 225, a new school record for receiving production by a receiver, and that would set up this. Braid Little to Jarius Rice Jr. Nice pitch and toss and catch. Yeah, he's working late because he's a slinger. Good stuff right here as well, coming from Jarius Rice on his own, 14 yards into the end zone. And then check out this one. Braden Little, 21 of 23 passing, 424 yards, 5 touchdowns, and a showpiece to Rico Clay. That final last night, 55-18. Here's a fun stat. No Quincy High scoring drive lasted more than 1:50 in time. They are the deal. Headed to Cap Cities in Jefferson City next week, 55-18. And Quincy High School remains the only unbeaten team left in our area thanks to Bowling Green's loss. We've shuffled the deck. We'll explain all about it on Duerisms, but here's your sneak peek at the top 6, which is Gem City centric to begin with. All right, let's do some volleyball today. Camp Point Central at South County in Waverly, trying to play its way into the championship bracket in the volleyball fun today, as we take a look and we go to the highlights in this one, if we can. We got highlights, guys? There we go. Camp Point Central going to work in this one, and it's going to be Carly Peters popping off to set Central's first attack up nicely, and they kind of shake off the early morning doldrums and go to work in what was a fabulously entertaining first match. How about Lauren Miller? She takes her cue from the early kill, finds some open flooring, and then Agnes Gennebacher serving up the acage. How about some more Carly Peters again, as Central went nuts in this first game. It was back and forth, though. The Vipers are very, very talented. So too is Central. More fun right there from Miss Peters. Same combination, this time off the back set. It is Lauren Miller to Carly Peters for the throwdown. And then a little Kaylee Bachhold into the mix after Lauren Miller serves up her own kill coming up right here. Central ends up winning the first match here and heads off to the championship bracket, but they lose in 2 to Calhoun, who improves to 30-2 on the season. So second place to Camp Point Central to mark a big week. How about Southeastern trying to bounce back from a loss to a very good Calhoun team yesterday? Today, Kim Kerr's team got it back going against Lincolnwood, although this first set was kind of a little sleepy. It was early, started before 9 o'clock. It starts right here with business picking up when Amanda Stevens decides she's going to find the floorboard. She does so right there. How about good stuff from her as well? The sister act working right here. It would be Kara Stevens. The assist, it would be Amanda, cleaning it up nicely, as she often does in this one. A little bit later, Morgan Wilcox making a little defensive cameo on the aggressive overplay. Gonna tamp that down nicely as well. Lady Suns are not done. After Lincolnwood made a run, how about some Kenzie Griswold right out of your Barca Lounger and into your television set. Good stuff from her as well. Kara Stevens doing the defensive thing right here. She's gonna celebrate the block as Southeastern wins this match 25-17, 25-6. They would go on to the third place match to take on the winner of Pittsfield and Porta. Let's show you highlights of that one. And Pittsfield, super impressive in this one. After dropping the first set to Porta, it would be the Lady Sockies going nuts in the second and third set in this one. Starts with a little Tori Stambaugh acage action, and then McKinley Walston doing the block thing at the net. Aggressive play as Pittsfield was giving up plenty of size. They didn't care. How about some Hazel Hill? She's not very tall, but she can swing a little as well. Finds the open spot in the Blue Jay defense. Then Lincoln McCartney coming up big time right here, getting some more fun stuff to fall in for the Sockies as she's going to win the battle at the net against size. More from McKinley Walston in this one, as you will see her help rally her team as well. A lot of different people falling into the mix of people who were critical in this comeback. Big time as well coming up in just a second from Madison Frieden, who really closed out the second set well, and then Pittsfield closes out the third as well. They pulled off the upset, got to play Southeastern, but fell in the third place match. 5-25, 12-25 as Southeastern, the Lady Suns, take third at Waverly as well. Finally, let's do some local scores of a non-playoff type action today. We had conference cross country today in the NCMC, a couple of titles for the Hannibal Pirates. We will start on the boys' side with Hannibal getting David Munger as your champion, if we could go to that graphic. David Munger was your champion in this one as he ended up winning medalist honors, and Hannibal would take second place as a team. Zachary Locke and Rhett Hayes both in the top 10. Also on the girls' side, Hannibal wins the team title and places a number of their runners in the top 10 as well. Again, the Hannibal Lady Pirates, as we advance the graphic here, continue to show out and show out very well after doing very well on their own floor last week. We'll go to the emo, apparently. On the Bowling Green side of things, it was the Bowling Green girls showing out very well down at North Callaway, getting the win today as a team led by Harley Hawood.
This is KHQA Overtime with Chris Duerr, brought to you by Hollister Whitney.
And welcome back to Overtime, everybody. Let's do some Truman State Quincy University highlights. Early on, a defensive tinged affair. How about the pride of Quincy Notre Dame? Brock Wiley have a game, 5 tackles, 3 of them for loss, including a quarterback sack, as Brock Wiley was seemingly everywhere as we had a stalemate defensively in the first quarter. 40 seconds into the second, Dylan Hare, the pride of Blair Oaks High School down in the Jefferson City region. 25-yard strike right here to Jackson Overton. It's 7-0 in favor of Truman State at that point. After a punt mishap, it's going to get worse for the Hawks. This is Kel Battle. Really a strange play. He's going to field the free ball, take it 33 yards here to the house. It's 14-0 Truman State at this point. Quincy University, though, going to try to fashion a comeback with 1:18 left in the first half. Drake Davis to the air, and he is going to find Luke Johnson, and he's going to throw this one right into your den tonight. This is a beautiful pass and catch. Great move. It made it 14-7. Unfortunately for Quincy University, didn't have enough to get over the top. Played well, but lose today. 28-21 your final. Elsewhere in local college football on the day, Western Illinois now has their 3rd win in the season for the first time since 2018, beaten up on Tennessee Tech today. Way to go, Leathernecks in that one. Also, Illinois College just destroying Knox College today. Destin Chance, 7 touchdown passes, 4 of them to Colin Brunstein. Also, Tanner Spencer from Rushville with 123 rushing yards. And yes, Connor McDowell from Q&D, a scoop and score as well. Good stuff from him. And Culver Stockton's on the board with a win, beating St. Ambrose today on the road, 35-21. Sprint football, regular season finale tonight at Quincy University. The Hawks under the lights against Oakland City in this one. Nick Manzo going to hook up with CJ Jackson to move the chains right here. It's scoreless, though. How about some defense? Trayton Anders, we know him well from around here with the local ties. Little quarterback sack from him. Good stuff right there. Late first quarter, more to come from the defense right here. Kyron Dene coming up with the tackle for loss. And how about on the very next play, a pick-6 interception for Austin Moore, put him up 6-0. And it would be Quincy University winning this game 28-8. Actually, at that point in the third quarter, they win it big with 42 points on the board tonight. 42-14 is your final. A couple of college scores today. Man, as Ryan Moore settled in nicely for the Culver Stockton women's soccer team. She gets another goal today. The golden one as the Culver women win on the road at Grandview. The men, by the way, fall by the final count of 3-2. Let's quickly do those cross-country scores tonight. We promised you early from the high school level. We'll start you off with the Bowling Green boys finishing second and the Mark Twain boys finishing third in the EMO conference meet. Leading the way, Brendan Finnegan from Bowling Green with a third-place individual finish. Also in cross-country, as we advance the graphics here, we can tell you that we've got, well, apparently we're not going to get the other graphic. It must have disappeared on us, so unfortunately we don't. Oh, there it is. We've got the girls meet for Bowling Green winning in the EMO, and in the NCMC, as I told you, the Hannibal girls took first place today.
This is KHQA Overtime with Chris Duerr, brought to you by Hollister Whitney.
And it's only going to get crazier from here, my friends. We've got state golf on the Missouri girls side on Monday and Tuesday. Volleyball postseason starting this week. We've got stories for you, a couple of student athletes of the week from the softball side of things. It's all going to be fun, and yes, a tribute to that Palmyra, now Hall of Fame group of outstanding high school girls basketball players from the early 1980s coming as well. I'm all out of time, everybody. We'll see you right back here next Saturday for Overtime.